If I may confide in you, I'd like to say that I honestly don't think Warframe's future within the next few years looks good. I'm not saying that because I want to hate on the game. I'm not saying that because I want to convince you that Warframe is totes the worst game ever. I'm saying it because as a veteran player, I don't like the direction Warframe is going. For starters, the new player experience is still absolutely terrible. I know that you're probably thinking, May, this has always been a problem. Who honestly gives a shit? I know that at first glance, the new player experience might not be as big a deal as you might think, but consider this. To the person watching this video right now, when you started playing Warframe, how often did you tab out to the Warframe forums or wiki to look something up? How often did the game not explain something to you, forcing you to look for the answer yourself? Chances are, not many times, considering that way back in the day, the operator and focus didn't exist, void relics and fissures didn't exist, and power creep sure as hell wasn't a big a problem as it is now. Now that the star chart's been reworked, we have more primes than we can count, and the void being reworked to be confusingly more complicated, new players will more often than not have to ask or consistently look up answers to their questions. With the amount of content the game has received since launch, having to explain everything to a new player becomes more of a chore rather than a favor. To that extent, I can almost see why the game tutorials are lacking. Think of it like this, let's say that you want your friend to start playing Warframe with you. How would you convince him? Would you say, hey, do you want to play a Space Ninja role-playing game shooter with me? Or do you say, would you like to learn how to get a Space Cat in this Space Ninja role-playing game Parker shooter after I teach you what prime parts are and what focus tree to build in? My point is, if you instantly reveal the intensity of Warframe to a new player, he'll probably be turned off, because in his eyes, Warframe is nothing more than a simple Space Ninja shooter. Honestly, I applaud DE for the way they've marketed to new players, because newer players typically have to be weaned into the game before they're ready to understand the grind ahead of them. First by telling a player to do X thing at Y place, but then later on telling the player that a new W quest at X place has become available, which gives Y thing for Z purpose. Secondly, Warframe's Prime Access system is just helping to kill the game with power creep. Before I explain, let me give you a fun fact. Did you know that Mag Prime, Dakra Prime, and Boar Prime are the only primes ever, besides Excalibur, to not be part of the Prime Access program? It's true. Mag, Dakra, and Boar Prime were released into the game without any Prime Access program in Update 10, along with Necros. This means that all three prime parts were put into the game without any fast and easy method of obtaining them, that is spending $80 on Prime Access. Now think to today. The Broken War, a weapon given for free by completing a quest, is a direct upgrade to the Dakra Prime. Seems reasonable, given that it can be earned for free. Then came the War, which was the most powerful melee weapon in the game until recently, which could be earned as a possible drop from killing the Stalker, or buying the Hunhouse gift bundle from the in-game store for 595 platinum, which comes to around $35 or $50, depending on how much money you can spend. Finally, we have the Guillotine Prime, which has better stats compared to the War, which can be earned by either farming or forking over $50. Here's the underlying problem with Prime Access. Year after year, stronger and stronger weapons are released, meaning that to get them, you either have to farm for hours, maybe even days, or concede and waste $50. Given that we've gone from no Prime Access to $50 minimum for the newest primes during the 3 years, I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, the time and/or money required to get the newest Prime equipment increases. Shoving stronger weapons into the game every few months is not only bad for players, but it's bad for DE. If Prime Access consistently brings stronger and stronger gear, then every few months the players are forced to either farm or spend money in order to maintain the strongest possible build. Less people are going to buy into Prime Access if it's just stronger and stronger weapons all the time. That means that there's absolutely no surprises from DE's end, and that instead of having the wow and need to get this Prime right now reaction, players will have the time to farm for the new meta reaction. Don't even get me started on enemy scaling. Even though the game gets power crept to oblivion every few months, that's still not enough to combat the ludicrously tanky or damaging enemies in high levels. There are those high-level enemies that either take an eternity and then some to kill. There are those enemies that can one-shot you at any range, even with a full tank chroma build, and then there are those enemies that should be nerfed harder than mag. Lastly, we have Excalibur Umbra and the beginning of the Umbra lineage of Warframes. Honestly, I'm a bit skeptical about the idea of Umbra. Even though Umbra is designed to be special rather than a direct upgrade from the regular version like Prime is, special is an odd way to put it. If they make Umbra a direct upgrade from Prime, which I'm 95% sure it isn't, then it isn't really special, except for how it ties into the lore. If they make Umbra a side grade from Prime, then the variant stats will make or break the Umbra in question. For example, if Rhino Umbra has higher health but lower sprint speed than Rhino Prime, then cool. He's a decent side grade while at the same time not being 100% better. However, if Volt Umbra has higher sprint speed but lower health than Volt Prime, well then whoop-de-fucking-do. Volt's faster but squishier than Prime, effectively catering it to only those who build for max power speed. So yeah. Upcoming content might be better than I think, but for now, I will take any word from DE that it will be totes awesome with an iota of salt. Thank you for watching.